Hi, I'm Alan Ross. I'm the managing editor of APC Media's publications, Transformer Technology, Power Systems Technology, and Women in Power Systems. We're here at the IEEE PES&T conference in Anaheim in 2024, the 60th anniversary. These interviews are with thought leaders to be able to bring the best of the marketplace to you. My next guest is Ricardo Suarez. He is the CEO and president of GE Prolec. That is the Americas, right? Because that's...
Yeah, GE Prolec is our brand name, our company in North America. Our headquarters is in Monterrey, Mexico.
Okay.
And actually, Prolec GE, it's a joint venture between Cygnus Group,
okay.
Cygnus Company, which is a private-owned company, Mexican, which headquarters are in Monterrey,
okay.
and GE.
Okay.
50-50 partnership. It started in 1995, and now, as you may know, and everyone is aware that with the split that they've been going on with GE now.
GE Vernova.
GE Vernova, you're right. So now GE Vernova is all related to energy, generation, you name it, any kind of generation, transmission, distribution. The real partner now, all the shares went to GE Vernova. So
okay.
now it's GE Vernova and Cygnus Group, the Mexican part remains.
Okay.
So we are better aligned this way.
Oh yeah. Well, all the energy, like Siemens Energy and Hitachi Energy and GE Vernova, they didn't do GE Energy, they did GE Vernova. It makes sense to put your portfolio together, right?
All together, yes.
Like, how did you get into the industry in the first place? What is your educational background?
Yeah, my education, I am a mechanical engineer.
So am I. God bless you. God bless you. All these electrical engineers We're probably the only two here.
Yes, and I graduated in 1986, and I also have a master's degree in business administration, both from the Monterrey Tech in Monterrey, Mexico. And I started working at that time in the paper industry for 10 years. And Monterrey City is one of the largest industrial cities in Mexico.
Yeah, all right.
And you always wonder how to grow in a company, and you look after the bigger companies, let's say.
Right.
So at that time, Cygnus Group, still remains being one of the 10 biggest groups or companies in Monterrey. So I had a chance to be invited to Prolec in 1998.
Okay.
I started in a small business unit of components, and within Cygnus, there is other companies that we also manufacture cables, a big business unit, all kinds of cables, energy, building wire, communications. So I had the opportunity to work in the magnet wire part of the business, in cables. So that's where I started to have more relationship with transformers, motors, and all related with OEMs, right? I had the chance to also live in Brazil with the same company for 9 years. And then in so I spent like in magnet wire for like 12 to 15 years. And then in 2015, Cygnus Group invited me to join Prolec as a CEO. So I've been CEO and president of Prolec and Prolec GE since 2015, January 2015. So
this is a nice time to be the CEO and president, because demand is doing like this.
Yeah, so now it's exciting times to be in the energy sector, right?
So that's the good news. The bad news is you have two problems. You have supply chain issues and you have labor issues. Talk to me a little bit about how you're keeping up with that problem.
Of course, it's as you may know, it's an industry matter.
Right.
Any industry, but in the electrical industry, it's a matter of fact that we are having some issues. What we are trying to do is, of course, to strengthen our relationship with key partners. Okay. You know, we have been doing it for several years. This effort started so many years ago. But of course, after the pandemic, we need to do more.
Right.
And to be honest, it was difficult, but what we're trying to do is also work in the other end. For example, talk to customers, our end customers, utilities, private sector, I mean the IPPs, also the rec municipalities, and to help us to have like a better backlog, for trying to build a backlog, a firm backlog through years. So for example, having a year or year and a half of visibility. Forecasting, but if it will be firm, it will be better. Okay. So now we are building, to committing to, let's say, demonstrated capacity in our end, right. Committing that capacity, and then with that visibility, we come back to our suppliers and say, hey, you know what? We are having firm orders, so let's take advantage of this visibility, so you can also work with me to assure that that amount of supply that we're needing. Yeah. Of course, there will always be urgencies that needs to be attended, but the more visibility ahead of us, the better, yeah, for right. The whole value chain, right. From customer to manufacturing. That's what labor comes along. We will talk about that, yeah. But also trying to engineering work to detail the materials that are going to be needed, so our suppliers knows in advance what's coming from us, and right. We can also confirm our purchase order to them. Right. So we are trying to work that way.
It makes a lot of sense. See, we this just in time, we forced suppliers to have it when we needed them, but we didn't give them firm planning. You know, yeah. So a lot of people took risks, and a lot of people got hurt, especially back in the 70s when the transformer industry kind of crashed, right? So people have been reluctant to do it, and that process keeps them engaged. You mentioned labor. I got to talk about labor.
Yeah, labor is also, I mean, somehow everywhere. I mean, now people have so many ways of doing their living, right? Yeah. So we need to still convince people that manufacturing is needed for the benefit of our own lives. I mean, in terms of we need this industry, which is a constraint for, I think that energy and water, let's say, will be the main resources that we, as human beings, we need to be aware of and keep generating more alternatives. So we are doing a lot of effort to convince from younger generations in technical schools and universities to advise them about the need that we have as a society, right? Explaining the benefit of working in the electrical industry, and in particular in our own company. Yeah. But also, in terms of working with them, of course, we would like to assure them a life career. I mean, try to work with them, training them, assure them, or maybe promote that they can do a career where they can be promoted and have a better life expectancy working in our company, not only at executive level, but also in labor. I mean, so just to give you an idea, we are, let's say, working in a career path in every site, not only in Mexico, but also in United States, that perhaps people, they say, okay, you enter into our company, is so many dollars per hour or so. Well, okay, but what are you better at? I mean, welding or metallic fabrication or coil assembly or designing, or so maybe you are not good at that. So we have the entry level, but maybe we can train you. So you go to a better value process in the factory or in our sites, and you can earn more, and it's a win-win because you remain with us, but taking advantage of your skills, your knowledge, and if you can train them to take advantage of their abilities and intelligence, it's a win-win situation. We try to work that way.
And it's a very good living for people that may not go to college, may not become mechanical engineers and do that. I was talking with Joe Donovan at TMAA, and he said, I have to ask you about major projects that you've got going on. Expansion. You've got expansion going on, right?
Yeah,
both U.S. and
yes,
Mexico?
actually, I didn't mention, but I mean, Prolec in particular in transformers, we cover the whole range of transformers.
Right.
From pole transformers and paths for residential use,
Yeah.
all the way to commercial and industrial, and also the power that we have. So in all our product lines, we are expanding. We just recently, this year, it's going to be ramping up a complete new line for renewables in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for renewables?
Yeah. In that facility in Shreveport, Louisiana, we manufacture network transformers, which is underground transformers for metropolitan areas, like New York, or all the converted towns in, you know. We can say that perhaps Con Ed is our biggest customer is in New York, and maybe half of the transformers in New York are coming from Shreveport facility.
Yeah, and those are 60-year-old transformers that never...
Yes, But in that facility, we produce or manufacture network transformers, regulators for the distribution side, also because of coming of more renewables now coming into the grid, some kind of regulators that is needed. And also we have advantage of that building. We had a major relay out, so we have take advantage of that building to have a complete new line for renewables. Everyone knows that the demand in the United States is so big, but renewables is twice as big. Than the other sectors. So in other segments. So we are keeping up with demand, and also we are adding another complete doubling the capacity in single phase paths that will be produced in Monterrey, Mexico, where very close to our headquarters, and that will come for 2025 next year, mid-year. And in the power segment, we are working in two ways. We have it's difficult to say spare capacity, but we have equipment installed in Waukesha site to produce more transformers. Of course, we need to work with labor and materials. So we have a challenge there. And also, we in 2020, we incorporated the Canoas facility, which used to be a GE facility that came along with the Alstom deal, and now is within our JV. And we are bringing transformers all the way from Brazil to United States.
Really?
Yeah, the bigger ones.
Yeah, right.
The big ones that travel from Asia or from Europe. So we are taking advantage of that capacity and that knowledge from our Brazilian team to coordinate with our US team to install them and have the same, running over the same quality, management, and also the guarantees that we need to offer.
All you need is a facility in Canada, and you have all of the Americas covered, right?
Right. Yeah. And also we have good plans to keep growing. You name it. We need to fine tune our strategy. We keep. I think the shareholders, GE and Signos, are very supportive. So we should bring some more cases to keep supporting the U.S. demand.
It's the heyday of transformer manufacturing. Once again, because we were back there in the 50s and 60s, and then it dropped off, and we're back there again. It is the future of electrification, because without transformers, the heart of the system, it doesn't work. My first love is transformer technology, right? My first love. I feel like I've got transformer oil in my blood. Last series of questions. I want to talk about IEEE. IEEE is kind of a collaborative organization. IEEE and CGRE, very collaborative, work together. Talk about those organizations and the value to GE Prolec, GE Vernova Prolec.
I think it's very valuable to us because at the end, also work. We talk about transforming, but there's a lot of technology involved, right? I think it's important to maintain the standards, and in that regard, perhaps work together between the technical guys, even SIGRE and IEEE, I mean, we joined both organizations as a company, and our technical people, great discussions to keep, let's say, standardizing specs through the region, particularly in the United States. But also, perhaps, we could also work with the end customers together. Yeah. Because as you may know, I mean, many utilities here in the United States need to be worked with their own standards. Yeah. And if at the end, as an industry, we have the need for more capacity, not only from Prolec and Prolec GE, but the rest, you name it, all of our competitors are in the same industry, having the same issues. We could work together as an industry to help each other. I mean, and I think a good way to have those talks, it will be this kind of events and discussions. Not this one in particular, but the other ones that
they have so many meetings,
right?
There's 7 of them going on right now in other parts of the country, around the world, everything.
Around the world.
No, that's excellent. Ricardo, thank you so much. It's been a
thank
pleasure.
you.
A delight.